On a gorgeous October Saturday afternoon, we welcome you to the corner of Circle and Broad, historic Crocker Field, right in the heart of downtown Fitchburg, Massachusetts, where today the Red Raiders of Fitchburg play host to the Panthers of Marlborough. I'm John Gugerty, joined, of course, by Dan Bullock. Dan, I think this might be the first time you and I have called an afternoon Saturday game here at Crocker Field. And, with the sun out and the foliage in full bloom, it is gorgeous.
Oh, it's a beautiful day.
Have a great game.
There's referee Sean Burke with the final result of the coin toss. And yes, it is absolutely a beautiful day. Back in the 80s and before, this was a common occurrence to play on a Saturday afternoon, back before we had lights. But then they installed lights, and then this year they replaced the lights with new modern lights. And with that, you don't need to play on Saturday afternoons. You can play on a Friday night, as classic high school football is. But today, a little bit of a throwback for homecoming, a Saturday afternoon game under the sun. It's definitely a bit of a change, but it's really nice to see.
We'll step aside for our national anthem, talk a little bit more about the teams. It's Fitchburg High School football here on FATV. Fitchburg High School football here on FATV from Crocker Field in Fitchburg, Massachusetts. I'm John Gugerty, joined, of course, by Dan Bullock. Dan, Fitchburg comes in with a record 0-4 on the season. We'll see their offense first. As the Panthers come in, they are 1-3 on the year.
Had a big win at the first game of the season against Sharon. Won that game 42-7. The Eagles were winless coming into this week. Then three pretty tough opponents. A 4-1 Tantascwa team, they lost 34-14. A 3-2 Oakmont side, they lost to 27-23. And then most recently, 8 days ago, against Neshoba, lost 14-13. Had an extra point blocked by Dylan Devine, and then with 70 seconds left, Devine had a 51-yard touchdown run for the Wolves. The extra point was true, and that gave Neshoba a bit of a surprising victory to knock the Panthers to 1-3.
Fitchburg, losers of their first 4 games this season. They've conceded 40 or more points in each of those defeats. We'll see if the Raider defense can keep Marlborough contained today, but it will be the offense getting the ball first. Kickoff is taken in at about the 5-yard line, returned across the 20. This is Jerome Best on the return. He's out to about his own number. Dan, number 28, gets to the 28. That's where Fitchburg's offense will have it.
We've seen a lot of great kick returns from the sophomore Jerome Best. And right there, you can see even bobbling the kickoff. It is actually quite blustery and breezy. Winds around 15 miles an hour today. So that's going to make these kick returns a little more challenging. He's able to get it to officially the 29.
Wind is blowing pretty much left to right, so it'll be in the Raiders' faces as they begin this first quarter. They're driving into the wind. Zacchaeus Collins, of course, is the quarterback. Jerome Best, Alan Hall, the players to watch on offense. Raiders will go empty on first down. Now they send 2 linemen in motion to the right. And it's a quarterback keeper. Collins will try the right side, and he is hit in the backfield immediately. Driven down, nothing he could do about that. I think that was Jack Sincata who got in there.
And Sincata read it quite well, just bursting into the backfield. And Collins really had nowhere to go, immediately wrapped up by the junior for a loss of officially 1 yard.
Take a look at it again. Sincata does a great job just keeping contained, holding the edge, not letting Collins really break anything. Fitchburg sort of telegraphed that one, Dan. They sent 2 linemen in motion to the right, and still, even with those extra blockers, Sincata was pretty much untouched.
They're going with a swinging gate here.
5 receivers bunched to the near side. Quick passes complete to Jerome Best. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage across the 30. Finally dragged down by Noah Soden. Gain of a couple for him. It'll bring up 3rd down, and they're going to spot him at the 30, so it'll be 3rd and 9 for Fitchburg.
Soden is going to be a name we're going to be calling a lot today. He's the offensive leader for this Panther side with 9 touchdowns on the campaign. He steps up there on defense, playing out a linebacker role.
Fitchburg adding a couple of wrinkles to the play calling, Dan. We hadn't really seen them send the linemen in motion. We hadn't seen the swinging gate the first couple games at home for Fitchburg. Paul DiGeronimo trying pretty much anything he can think of to try to get production out of his offense. He's got Best and Hall split out wide. They go in motion further. Collins will roll to his right. He wants to keep it himself. Across the 30, he's going to be spun down at about the 35. Still fighting for yardage. He might have gotten the 36, but he needed the 39 for a first down.
Soden was the first to meet him, and although he met him there and tried to spin him down, Collins did a tremendous job to stay on his feet. And he stayed up until the whistle blew, got to the 35, but it's not enough for a first. We'll see the punt squad for the first time.
Zahir Chavez Hernandez will come on to kick it away for the Raiders. Back deep to return at about the 35-yard line. Can't see who that is for the Panthers. Chavez Hernandez's kick is away, spiraling. Bounces at the 35, takes a bit of a Raider roll. And it'll die at about the 29-yard line. It's where we'll see the Panther offense for the first time today.
It was Jaden Lopez who was back there waiting for that one. Well, we have a moment. Let's thank our FATV underwriters. We'll actually thank them in a little bit.
Late.
Yeah, a little too early for that.
So Marlborough offense will come out 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line. Been a little productive in their last couple games. Again, 14 points in the loss to Tantascwa, 23 against Oakmont, 13 against Neshoba. First down handoff bursting through the line. Gets across the 40-yard line and a first down. That was Noah Soden. Dan said it. We're going to call his name a lot.
Soden just bursting up the middle. It's a 13-yard run on first down. He had a game where he ran for over 200 yards against Oakmont and 9 touchdowns on the season for the junior, who's only 1 letter off from Shepherd Hill's leading runner in Devin Roden.
I see.
They just changed the R for an S. Everything else is the same.
Is there a Kyle Toden in Massachusetts we should be aware of? Split backs for Marlborough, 1 tight end, 2 receivers. Taking this play clock as far down as they can before finally coming under center. Handoff goes to the first running back. That's Soden. He appeared to lose the handle, but he did so in Raider territory. That's another first down for Noah Soden.
Taking it all the way to the Fitchburg 47-yard line, and that's just Soden making a good run to the left side, overpowering the Raiders.
Dan, I realize it's only been 2 plays from scrimmage, but I think the Raider defense has a problem.
11-yard run there for number 11, and another first down for the Panthers.
We have Seamus Mahoney lined up as a fullback. He's to the right of Soden. Gets his hand down in the turf now. And it is Michael Benway, the senior. No, actually, excuse me, rolling out to the right. This is Isaac Medrano, the quarterback for the Panthers. Gets across the Raider 40 and is out of bounds. Medrano, the sophomore.
I know we saw Benway, who was one of the captains, come out and take the coin toss, but he's not getting the start today. They go with the sophomore, Medrano. This is a Marlborough team that does like to keep it on the ground. They have more rushing attempts and then some passing attempts on the campaign.
For a team that's lost its last 3 games, that is a bit of a surprise that the Panthers haven't gone to the air, but they've been having a lot of success on the ground. I think this is the first time they faced a second down.
It is. They've run 3 plays. They had 2 first downs from Soden.
And they'll give it to Soden again. He'll get another first down. He's across the 20. He's not going to get a first down. He is going to get a touchdown, Panthers. Noah Soden. Tremendous run for the junior. His 10th rushing touchdown on the season. Gives the Panthers a 6-0 lead as we approach the halfway point of this first quarter.
Just found a hole through the left side. There was nobody there far enough back. You could see a bit of a track race there to try to catch Soden, but they just run out of field.
Good snap, good hold. Extra point is up and good. 7:26 to play here in quarter number 1. Panthers 7, Fitchburg nothing.
Do we want to give the Underwriters a shot again?
I wasn't going to ask that until we heard from the truck that they were set, but it is possible. We'll get them, we promise. Worst comes to worst, we'll tell you. We know that, well, we have someone on the truck who knows the names. We can do it. We'll do it at some point, I promise.
We'll make some time there. You know, we were talking about, how a Saturday afternoon game. There's still some teams that play on Saturday afternoons routinely because perhaps they don't have lights. A lot of them are in the southern part of Worcester County. Schools like Nipmuc, Blackstone Valley Tech, Blackstone Millville, and Sutton. Sutton is particularly notable. They're hosting a team from Fitchburg today. Monty Tech is there.
I was going to guess it was St. Bernard, so I would have been wrong.
St. Bernard's played Auburn last night.
How'd they do?
Not much better than Fitchburg did.
I see. Boy, the Rockets really, they're having some fun with this part of the state, aren't they?
Yep, they went 2 for Fitchburg, and so now they'll be on to playing non-Fitchburg teams for the rest of the season.
Well, Monty Tech doesn't want to try their luck?
I don't think so. I don't think this year.
Short kickoff, end over end, bounces, actually muffed at the 21-yard line, finally scooped up, breaking out of tackles, still on his feet, and finally brought down at the 30. That was Alan Hall who wound up with it. Hall had a bit of an adventure taking that ball in, but he was able to corral and get across the 30-yard line. Decent field position for the Raiders. We'll take a look. Dan, that actually just went through his arms, hit his knee.
We know the challenge is there with the wind today, how it's been swirling around. Hall's got so many things he's got to worry about there. Eventually able to gather it in and get a solid enough return. The Raiders have decent field position starting from their own 30-yard line with 7:19 to go in the first, trailing by 7.
That was Christian Fernandez, the kicker, who made the tackle. Collins from the shotgun. Best comes in motion. Fake the handoff to him. Collins tries the middle. Gets an additional push from behind. It's a decent gain on first down for the Red Raider quarterback. Picked up 5. We'll call it 2nd and 5.
Had the ability to give it to Best, but decided to keep it himself. Try the misdirection there, go up the middle, and just muscled his way. A 5-yard gain on first down. You'll take that.
Absolutely. Justin Medina checks in, get a little more speed in the backfield for the Raiders. They'll pull off one of the linemen. I think that was a tight end they pulled off, actually just wearing a lineman's number. Collins will go under center. Send a couple men in motion to the right side again. And it's a pitch to the right side for Best. Good blocking this time. He's got a first down and more into Panther territory. And he's finally dragged down at about the 42-yard line. Best play of the day for the Fitchburg offense, and it comes from Jerome Best.
They move those players over to the right side, short up the line again. This time they go with the pitch out to Best, go farther out, and there's a nice hole opened up there. A great lane for Best to run through into the second level, gets all the way to the 43-yard line of Marlborough. Raiders are into Panther territory for the first time today.
Sam Claude finally able to pull down Jerome Best. Fitchburg gets a little offensive momentum behind them. Come out with Best in the backfield. Ali Coheel is the fullback. Ali Coheel is the ball carrier. It's across the line and is stopped at about, call it the 41. It's a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 for Fitchburg.
Trying something a little different. And Goheel is a solid fullback. 27 carries for 83 yards and a touchdown this season. Also 25 tackles on defense. Just muscles his way, gets a couple of yards.
It's one thing we've seen from Fitchburg High, Dan, this season that hasn't necessarily been true in the past. They're willing to try a great number of things on offense. They've got a number of different formations, a number of different looks that they can throw at opponents as they try to find something that gets the ball downfield. Collins wanted the quick pass on second down, now under pressure, floats it near side, jump ball for Best. He's got it at the 35, close to a first down. It's going to come down to the spot. I think it will be a first down for the Raiders. Dan, this is, I don't think this is going to be a highlight reel play for Zacchaeus Collins. It might be a teaching moment in balls that you shouldn't have thrown, but it worked.
Under all the pressure and desperation, there was good coverage there, good marking by his man, but Best was able just to reposition, get in front of it, pull down that ball. And it's a first down. I believe it's a freshman there, Kywon Kimball, who had the coverage there. And that's also maybe a learning moment for Kimball as well.
Absolutely. Raiders sticking with that empty set. Best comes in motion. He will take it on the jet sweep this time. Try the right side. He's across the 25 to about the 24-yard line. Gain of 7. It's a good run for Jerome Best.
As he was turning the corner going upfield, there were a couple of players who were engaged with Raider blockers there. And Best was not afraid to run through them because sometimes you have that too close to the forest for the trees there where the blockers may not be able to quickly engage enough. And they did have to disengage and they were able to make the tackle, but that still bought Best some more time to get a couple more yards and ended up being an 8-yard gain for Best.
He'll line up in the slot on the near side. Two tight ends and Goheel. It's a keeper for Collins on 2nd and 2. Cuts it left, spins out of a tackle. He's got the first down across the 20. Gets a block at the 15. Collins inside the 10. And he's brought down at the 8-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for Fitchburg. Great vision on that play, Dan, by Zacchaeus Collins. Take another look at this one.
He's been very confident running the football this season. You see, he breaks out of that one tackle. There's a shoestring attempt that doesn't go anywhere. And he just keeps on going and is not afraid to initiate contact and drive forward inside the 10. It's goal to go for the Red Raiders.
1st and goal, Fitchburg. Ball spotted at the 8-yard line. Fitchburg is looking for their first points against Marlborough in their last 3 contests. They've been shut out twice in a row. Collins on the keeper, tries the right side, dives for the end zone. He is in. Touchdown, Red Raiders. Zacchaeus Collins on the keeper from 8 yards out. 7-6 Marlborough. The Raiders are an extra point away from tying this game.
I was saying, Collins not afraid of any potential contact. Goes to the right, he cuts upfield. See the one blocker trying to engage with another blocker because he's thinking that Collins is going to go more to the right, but instead Collins makes that cut, he makes that dive and gets it across the goal line.
Collins the holder, Zahir Chavez Hernandez, my apologies, the kicker. Extra point is up and good. We are tied at 7 with 2:43 to play here in the first quarter. We don't know about kick, Dan, but we do know that Zacchaeus Collins can run and throw. The song doesn't go he can run and hold and throw, but the spirit is there.
7 plays, 70 yards in 4 minutes and 43 seconds. I think that's the first non-zero tie for the Raiders this season, too.
They tied it the first game, didn't they, here against Shepherd Hill?
Shepherd Hill had the conversion.
That made it 8-7, didn't it?
That made it 8-7.
Okay, you're right.
I mean, it feels like that's an impossible stat, but I think that's correct.
A little bit of trouble with the ball on the tee. We mentioned there is a fairly strong breeze blowing left to right across your screen. Chavez Hernandez has it set up the way he wants it. And the kick is away. Low, bouncing, close to going out of bounds, and it does in fact go out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. So the Panthers would have it, at their own 40, 30? Help me.
25 yards from the spot of the kickoff.
25 from the spot of the kickoff, so I can do math. I can stall.
It's the 35-yard line.
Thank you.
There are also other options. You could make them
Free
re-kick.
kick out of bounds. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty and we'll re-kick.
And they're actually going to select option 3. They're going to make them kick again from the 35.
They're going to back the Raiders up, make them kick it again.
Yeah. So the options are 25 yards from the spot of the kickoff, or 5 yards from where it goes out of bounds. So like if you kick it out of bounds at
Say midfield.
midfield, then they'll get it at the 45.
Makes sense.
In Raider territory in that particular example, or back them up 5 yards and do it again.
And that is the option the Raiders have chosen. Sorry, that is the option the Panthers have chosen. So we line up, do it again. Bit of a better kick, taken in at the fly at the 33 and then fumbled. Looked like he had it and then lost the handle, did Julian Claro. Had the makings, Dan, of a pretty good return for the Panthers. All in all, it's maybe a benefit, a gain of a yard or two, instead of if they had just taken the penalty in the first place.
3 yards.
3 yards. So Claro, I don't think he actually ever had the handle. He took a step, but he never really had it. By the time he dives on it, of course, he's got the ball and his knee is down, so the player is down. No chance for a return after that. Panthers will go from the shotgun this time. I believe that's the first time they've done that. They actually have Soden line. No, I'm sorry, they have the quarterback under center. I couldn't see him, he's small. Handoff goes to Soden. He's across the 40, gets to about the 43-yard line. So what happened, Dan, is Isaac Medrano, the sophomore quarterback, was standing next to his right guard, and the right guard is significantly taller, so I didn't see him. You believe me, don't you?
Yeah, and I was just going and punching stuff into my scorebook.
Okay.
I don't think I have a penalty in this thing for kick out of bounds. Or if there was, I can't find it.
Well, you should make that.
Yep. It's funny, that's actually, it's like if you take it from the 35, that's actually, you don't really put that in the books as a penalty. But you do if they're going to back them up 5 yards.
I guess that falls under the umbrella of illegal procedure.
I guess.
Second down handoff bursting through the middle. That's Seamus Mahoney, listed as a tight end on the Panthers roster. We've seen him pretty much exclusively operating as a fullback. Just bursting through the middle there. Marlborough showing that they have more than one weapon in the backfield. They had a lot of success on their last drive, Dan, running the ball pretty much right up the middle. Fitchburg couldn't stop Soden. Now they're showing they're having trouble stopping Mahoney as well.
His first touch of the day gets him 14 yards.
First and 10 Panthers at the Fitchburg 43-yard line.
Marlborough's run the ball 6 times in this contest. 4 of those runs have gone for double-digit yards.
Panthers really taking their time before coming set. Handoff to Soden. Raider defense finally able to stiffen a little bit, holds him to a gain of 2. It'll be second down and 8 for Marlborough High. Miguel Gonzalez, one of the first to get in there for the Raiders, just ran right into the line, and that time the blocking couldn't clear a path. Good work really by that whole Raider defensive line.
I saw Isaiah Solomon in there as well. Big number 69. A nice stop for the Raiders. Makes it second and 8.
Panthers have it at the Fitchburg 41. They need to get to the 33 for a fresh set of downs. Likely this will be the final play of the first quarter. It's a handoff to Soden once again. Very similar to the first down play. It's a little bit more. Needed 8, got about 4, so it will be 3rd and 4 as we hit the end of the first quarter. Dan, Marlborough had a lot of success on their first drive.
End of the first quarter.
Fitchburg was able to answer right back, and now as we get into this second quarter, it's going to be a very big moment for this Red Raider defense.
We've seen teams run riot on the Raiders the last couple weeks. In fact, the last 2 weeks, we have not seen a single pass completion from the opposition. It's been all runs.
We'll see what Marlborough does with their first play of the second quarter, but while we have a moment, we do want to thank the underwriters who make this and every remote production possible here on FATV.
Fitchburg Access Television's remote productions are brought to you in part by Rollstone Bank and Trust, Acme Carpet One, All One Credit Union, The Sentinel and Enterprise, Minuteman Press, and Unitil.
John Gugerty, Dan Bolak with you from historic Crocker Field in downtown Fitchburg. Panthers and Raiders tied at 7 as we get ready for the second quarter of action here on FATV. Our thanks, as always, to the organizations who help us bring these remote productions possible, these remote productions to you and make them possible. It's easier if we say complete sentences, Dan.
Sometimes we get ahead of ourselves. We combine words and phrases and sentences and so on and so forth. I'm just as guilty of it as you are.
It's fine. It's not like our job is to talk or anything. Second quarter of action about to get ready, and here with the play-by-play is Dan Bolak.
Panthers now going from right to left, but we have some issues on all of that, and the initial indication is offsides against the Raiders.
Offside, defense, number 69, 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Isaiah Solomon, the senior, 22 tackles coming into this game. It's a big 5-yard miscue. Take another look. I don't really see anybody offside there, but okay. Maybe, certainly not Solomon. Maybe up at the top of the screen, is that him? No, I don't think it was Solomon, Dan. I think it was Miguel Gonzalez who had his arm in the neutral zone.
So that's what we're thinking on that one. That's a run up the middle on the renewed 1st and 10. Seamus Mahoney had the carry up the left side hash. And he'll take it to about the 31-yard line.
Yeah, Dan, I think it was Miguel Gonzalez who was lined up. He just had his arm kind of over the football in the neutral zone. And that was the reason for the whistle, cost the Raiders 5 yards and a first down.
Mahoney gave it to the 26 because I can totally read lines.
At least there are lines to read.
Yes, they had a history of fading as the season went on. But I think sprint turf lines don't have that same history. Second down, it's a handoff to Soden. He's trying to find a hole on the right side, trying to create one through sheer force. He's not going to succeed in that endeavor, and he's going to be stopped at the 25-yard line.
Big third down coming up here for the Panthers. I've got to think, Dan, as we take another look at this second down run for Soden, I've got to think that this is just going to be another handoff. This is probably 2-down territory for the Panthers. You know, they're working into the wind. I don't think they're going to try a 35-yard field goal or anything like that. So
their kicker, Christian Fernandez, has hit a field goal this season of an indeterminate length. They weren't interested in reporting that.
Interesting.
But we've definitely seen one thing that Marlborough and Sean Mahoney want to do is control the clock. They've taken plenty of time in between snaps. It's a drive up the left side by Mahoney. He gets 3, he needed 2. It'll be a first down for the Panthers.
Dan, I wonder if part of the reason the Panthers are so intent on milking the clock is they just want to play as few downs as possible in this game because they're shorthanded. Like, if you take a look over at that Panther sideline, they've got maybe 15 dudes over there. It is not exactly a full complement that Marlborough brought today. They had bus troubles. They had to severely cut down the number of players who made the trip. I wonder if that's playing into their offensive strategy.
It's an idea. It's going to be a quarterback keeper going to the left side of the 5. There is a flag just before he got into the end zone. It's a provisional touchdown for Isaac Medrano.
Flag's thrown well downfield. I suspect it's going to be a hold on one of the receivers blocking for Marlborough.
Holding, offense number 1, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It's first down.
And it is Christian Fernandez guilty of the hold. He was working on Jerome Best on the far sideline. We'll see it here on the left side of the frame as Medrano runs through. Right there, you've got Fernandez. Fernandez pretty much has Best turned around. Can't do that, especially when you're grabbing the guy's shirt. So throw the flag, take the points off the board. But because of the way the penalty is assessed, it winds up being, is that 1st and 5 now for the Panthers?
It is, in fact, 1st and 5. It's a run up the middle. Seamus Mahoney at the very end, a flag is thrown, implying that perhaps there were some illegal tackling procedures going on.
Thought I saw a hand get up toward the face mask. We'll see what Mr. Burke has to say about things.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask, defense. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Illegal tackling procedure is in fact the case. The face mask will be half the distance to the goal. It was a personal foul face mask, which from the 10-yard line actually is no different from the regular face mask of 5 yards, curiously enough.
So Panthers will have a 1st and goal as they look to answer the Raiders' scoring drive with one of their own, take the lead back.
13 carries, 128 yards for Marlborough. There's an issue with the ball there. Madera lost it. And Fitchburg is actually going to recover it. It looked like Gustavo Lagos was the one who claimed it. And suddenly Marlborough's drive comes to a halt.
I don't think Medrano ever had the handle, Dan. The trouble was on the exchange with the center. We'll take another look at it again. You see from right behind the play, it seemed to be a pretty good snap from Luis Vallejo Salem. He's the center, he's one of the captains. Medrano just never got the handle on it. Then it turned into a just scrum. Who could come up with the ball at the bottom of the pile? The Raiders get it. Huge swing in momentum for them.
Marlborough gets the bright side of conceding the ball 4 yards from goal, so the Raiders have an extremely long field to navigate. But the Raiders have the ball now with about 8.5 to go in the second quarter. A swing pass out to Jerome Best. He makes the catch past the 15-yard line. And it's going to be a first down for the Raiders just like that.
It's definitely not the optimal situation for your offense to have it 1st and 10 at your own 4. But I think Fitchburg would very happily take that rather than 1st and 10 at their 30, but down by a touchdown, which is what they were staring at. This quick pass to Best to just get him into the open field. So much of this Raider offense, Dan, is about creative ways to get the ball in the hands of your best playmakers, whether that's Alan Hall, whether that's Jerome Best, or whether it's Zacchaeus Collins.
They've got players who can do things with the football. It's just getting that ball to them. Collins will take it from under center. He'll pitch it out, go to Best. Best goes up the right side, gets out of a tackle at the 20, now at the 30, 35-yard line, barrels into a Panther as he goes out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
Two things I want to say about this play. The first is check out the moves on Best. He sees that he's got Frank Johnston on ice skates, cuts to the right side, picks up an extra 10, 15 yards. And then at the end here, he stepped out at the 34-yard line. He was out of bounds for 3 yards before he lowered his shoulder and delivered that hit. Fortunately, everybody came out of it okay, and to a certain extent, it's a football play. It's an unnecessary hit. You didn't need to take that whack.
Of course, it's also whether or not he knew that he'd stepped out at that point. But yes, it's one of those things to watch out for. So run up the right side on first down. Collins keeping it himself, gets wrapped up pretty much immediately. Soden's got that well read. Brings it back to the 33-yard line. Not the first time that Soden has snuffed out one of those runs there from Collins. There's also another Panther there breaking into the backfield, just nowhere to go.
Collins pretty slow to get up. We've seen him move fairly gingerly a few times this season. Obviously, we'll keep an eye on him.
Second down and 11. It'll be a pitch to Best. Best on the left side, finding some space at the 35. Lined up there. Kaiwan Kimball will spear him down just past the 35, give him to the 36. It's a 2 or 3 yard gain.
Fitchburg's had some success with these pitch plays in this game so far. This time, not much. Kimball, does a good job in the open field. Lowers his shoulder, delivers the hit, drives the ball carrier to the turf. It's pretty much exactly what they teach you to do.
Both teams over 100 yards of offense in this 7-7 game as we approach the halfway point of this second quarter. It's been a pretty competitive contest between Fitchburg and Marlborough. Collins under center, will pitch it out. Here is Best, but Soden breaks into the backfield and slams Best to the ground.
Dan, we mentioned the Raiders have had success with these pitch plays going to the outside. This is like a counter pitch where they take a step to the left and try to bring it to the right, but Soden is not buying it. He wraps Best up, slams him to the turf. Talk about unnecessary hits. That was a violent one for him as well. Jerome Best, the last Raider offensive player off the sideline as he heads for a well-deserved breather.
Jaden Lopez, the freshman, standing at his own 35, awaiting this kick from Zahir Chavez Hernandez. It's a very solid one. It's going to go over his head, perhaps, if he doesn't take a few steps back to the 27-yard line. Jonathan Torres tries to tackle, isn't able to do so. There's a flag there as Alan Hall will have him wrapped up at the 48-yard line, but I imagine those last few yards are going to be for naught. With the swirling winds, that was a heck of a kick. About 40-yard punt.
See what the official call is.
During the return, illegal block in the back, return team number 9. 10-yard penalty from the spot of foul. 1st and 10 Marlborough.
Kaiwan Kimball guilty of the block in the back, so back them up 10 yards. And we remarked that the first quarter was pretty clean by both sides. Not necessarily always the case, particularly with this particular officiating crew, but the second quarter has been a little more true to form, at least so far.
We know Sean Burke, he is a college football referee, does some Division III football games, the NUMAC and the NESCAC. We're happy he's spending his Saturday here at Crocker Field. So from the 27-yard line, it's a handoff to Snowden, going to the right side to the numbers. Gets a few on that one, past the 30-yard line. Named Cassiano Pedraza is one of the tacklers there for the Raiders.
And real quick, Dan, we were talking about Sean Burke and the officiating crew. We do want to mention as well that this is National Officials Appreciation Week for fall of 2024. Schools all across the region have been really encouraging students and attendees, and will pass along the encouragement to recognize the hard work that these officials do. I was never a football official, but I was a baseball official, and pretty much across sports, it's a very thankless and often underpaid job, especially when you've got yahoos like us making fun of you sometimes, which does happen. I will concede, we do that on occasion.
Soda on the right side, going backwards, but he goes backwards enough to gain a first down, give him 7 yards after all of that. even after Gillet and Amate Nagabe had him wrapped up, Snowden was just churning his feet backwards, and he was still gaining yardage, even if he's not looking in the direction that he's going.
You see it in cartoons sometimes where like a race car has such a lead that he can win the race going backwards. Snowden was able to run backwards and pick up 6 yards.
Snowden going forwards this time. He's going to pick up a couple more than 6 yards. We'll give him to the 46-yard line this time. Eyes forward gives him an extra yard.
Worth noting, of course, the Panthers will get the ball back to start the third quarter.
Panthers hurried up to the line this time. The quarterback keeper is going to the left side to the hashes. Isaac Medrano, the sophomore, will get a first down on the ground.
And it was Zacchaeus Collins, the opposing quarterback, who made the tackle for Fitchburg. Saw this play on the Panthers' last drive. It was initially a touchdown, but called back.
Seamus Mahoney now to continue switching up the ball carriers. Gets 10. Straight up the gut.
Dan, we've talked about how the Raiders have so many weapons. Alan Hall, Jerome Best, Zacchaeus Collins. The Panthers can match them.
Pittsburgh uses their first charge, time out of the half.
Whether it's Noah Soden, or that time the fullback Mahoney, or just the quarterback, Isaac Medrano. These Panthers ball carriers are every bit as dangerous, if not more so, than the ones for the Raiders.
For my stats right now, I've Soden 10 carries, 95 yards, and a score. Medrano 4 carries, 34 yards, and Mahoney 5 carries, 39 yards. That's 19 carries for 168 yards for the Panthers, who have not attempted a pass in this contest.
Well, if you're averaging, that's not quite 9 yards a carry, I think.
8.8.
Thank you. I'm good at math. If you're averaging 8.8 yards per carry, I don't think you need to throw it either.
You have to go back to the West Boylston game to find the last time that a team actually completed a pass against Fitchburg. As most of these teams have been pretty comfortable going to the ground. Even last week, Auburn, who had been about 50-50 pass run this season, they did not attempt to pass.
Well, it's clearly something to which the Raiders are vulnerable. We've talked all season about how they're a very young team, and particularly at this level, Dan, it's just a simple fact. 9th and 10th graders are typically smaller human beings than 11th and 12th graders.
It's true. We've talked about this. The Raiders currently have 15 upperclassmen on their varsity roster. 7 seniors, 8 juniors. 1st and 10 for Marlborough. It'll be a keeper to the left side, past the 20 and out of bounds around the 16-yard line. Isaac Medrano again.
Dan, as that play was developing, I saw Fitchburg's head coach, Paul DiGeronimo, here on the near sideline. He just put his hands on his head and stared at what was happening in front of him. He is not happy with the performance of this Red Raider defense right now. Marlborough is not exactly diving deep into their playbook, but they're pulling out just enough to keep the Raiders guessing. Fitchburg can't stop them right now.
Lee Mahoney, hole on the right side, stumbles down to the 10-yard line. Collins with the tackle. You can see Marlborough, which was going low tempo at the beginning of this contest, now going into a higher tempo to keep them honest. Soden's got it to the right side to the 5 to the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers. Noah Soden with his second score of the contest restores the Panther lead.
And Dan, this is the first time I think this is an option look for the Panthers. Medrano takes it to the right. He sees that he doesn't have the hole, but he knows that he has Soden behind him. Soden's got the corner. It's a good read, a good decision by Medrano. And then Soden into the open field, takes it in for 6.
Extra point is up. Extra point is good. 1:53 to go in the first half. Marlborough leads 14-7.
And we've seen Medrano, Dan, take these snaps and keep it himself a number of times. I wonder if that was always the play call for the Panthers, and that was just the first time Medrano chose to get rid of it, rather, or if that was indeed a new wrinkle. that Sean Mahoney added to this Panther offense.
Sean Mahoney, a very experienced coach. He's been coaching football as a head coach for 30 years now. Started at Shrewsbury in '94, moved up to Assumption in '98, coached 6 seasons of Division II collegiate football before coming to Marlborough in 2004, where he's been the head coach ever since. 138 wins and 88 losses coming into today.
I was going to say, I was thinking in my head, was he the coach when I attended Marlborough High School? And if he started in 2004, then he didn't, because I dropped out in 2003. But that's beside the point.
It just missed him.
Just did. If I had, stuck around, would have seen him, probably.
Kickoff taken at the 30-yard line, muffed there by Hall. Just has to end up eating the football. Again, with the ball floating in the wind, it's been a little challenging to gather those balls.
Hall had a chance for a pretty good return. I think he actually started looking upfield before he brought this ball in. And that's how a mistake like that can happen. Fortunately for Fitchburg, he was able to fall on it. Take a look at it again. See, he takes it in, never really gets the handle. By the time he does, he's got Panther ready to devour him. So now for Fitchburg, Dan, they do have 2 timeouts. They've got 1:50. Marlborough's going to get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. I think you've really got to push the pressure here. The Raiders could very much benefit from getting some points here on this drive.
Especially if it means they can go into halftime with a tie score or something near it. Best will go to the right on 1st down. On the end around, he gets the flank at the 40. Now at the midfield, a flag does fly. So some of this is coming back.
I think it's all coming back, Dan. There are 2 flags in the backfield.
I know they saw the second one after he'd got upfield for the 1st down, but a hold first would definitely move all of it.
Yeah, there are 3 flags, actually. There's a flag downfield. There are 2 at the line of scrimmage. I think the question here is which penalty?
Holding, offense number 3, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It's 1st down.
And it is Jonathan Torres guilty of the hold. It'll back the Raiders up.
To the 24-yard line, so 3 of those yards do count.
See if we can spot it here on the replay. I believe Torres was lined up on the near side, so he would be in the bottom right corner of the screen. See right there, right at the top of the screen, he was pushing down a Panther player. I think that was just after the flag was thrown. But typically, if an offensive player
Marlborough's elected to keep the clock on the wind. Clock will go on my signal.
So the Panthers elect to let the clock roll, burn a little bit more time. And Fitchburg responds by taking time out.
Fitchburg uses their 2nd charge, timeout of the half.
So now, Dan, 1:32 to play, 1st and basically 20. Yeah, it is going to be 1st and 20 for the Raiders.
1st and 17.
1st and 17 is where the stick's marked. My apologies. But it's a very difficult situation because if you don't get anything here, the Panthers have all 3 timeouts. There's nothing saying that Marlborough can't, stop you 3 times, take 3 timeouts, get the ball back with a minute left. We've seen the way these Panthers have been able to move the ball. I don't think it's a guarantee that they can't score given the ball in a minute, even with no timeouts.
So on that last thing, too, by the way, was Mr. Burke had noted that Marlborough had elected to have the clock run because I believe that's an option for the defense on a penalty like that. That they can have the clock stopped until the next snap, or they can have the clock run.
And that would be to prevent offenses from committing penalties when they run out of timeouts.
It was more so that Marlborough maybe isn't immediately interested in trying to drive for a 3rd touchdown before halftime, but Fitchburg calling that timeout says they are interested in making a play. There's Jerome Best with the reception at the 40-yard line, staying on his feet. Gets past the 41-yard line, and you know what? That's going to be a 1st down.
Not exactly a deep ball, Dan, but it is the furthest downfield the Raiders have thrown the ball today. Collins is able to find Best. He gets into the open field, picks up some good yardage after the catch. It's a first down for the Raiders.
We know from the Shepherd Hill game that both Jerome Best and Zacchaeus Collins have the ability to throw a touchdown pass that can go for 60-plus yards. It's something to keep in the back pocket. And, Best wants to pass here on the double handoff, and there's the throw downfield. Looking for Collins! He has it at the 30! There's a bit of trickery to turn things on their head.
There is a moment in this play, Dan, and it's going to come right here when a defender bursts through the line where that play looked like it was dead in the water. Daniel Pontes had broken through the line. He was blocked by Collins. He's able to disengage from the block. Take another look at it again here. He gets free. He disrupts the play right there. This play is dead. And yet Best is able to recover, throw downfield into almost quadruple coverage, but he finds Collins, a good leaping catch by the Raider quarterback.
It's a 29-yard completion. I think that's Zacchaeus Collins' first career catch. And, yeah, you could hear by how much the volume in my voice went up there.
I don't think you could believe that that was Collins making the catch.
No, I could not. I mean, I totally believed that Best could throw it. Collins wants to throw there. Soden had him wrapped up there and has him sacked.
Fitchburg immediately takes their
Fitchburg
final
uses
timeout.
their final timeout of the half.
So they will have 40 seconds.
Yeah, that last one, though, 29-yard completion there. Maybe just as crazy as you mentioned. There were 4 different Panthers there, but Collins got into the right spot. And I think, one of those things that you do tend to forget, because they don't go to it that often, is that Jerome Best, he is listed on the roster as a quarterback. And he's attempted 7 passes coming into today.
Honestly, based on the way we've seen Best throw the ball, based on the way we've seen Collins throw the ball, when it comes to chunk plays downfield, I think Best has a stronger arm. We'll take another look at this play from the end zone angle. Just a great leaping catch by Collins. Tremendous work by him, kind of slipping in really between 2 different Panther defenders. Again, Dan, that play nearly blown up in the backfield, but Best was able to recover, keep moving, keep the play alive. I thought it was a very ill-advised decision. When that ball was released from his hand, I was pretty sure a Panther was going to pick it off, but he found Zacchaeus Collins.
Ball's going to come all the way over to the near side. Get lined up with the empty backfield. Collins gets the throw off. Best nearly had the catch there, but took the pressure there from Kaiwan Kimball. Makes it 4th down, and the Raiders aren't punting here.
Take another look at this one. Good protection this time by Collins. I think that ball might have taken a deflection at the line of scrimmage, Dan. And it was nearly picked off, nearly brought in by Best. But it hits the turf incomplete. Now what do you have in your playbook for 4th and 17?
That was actually the first incompletion of the day. The Raiders quarterbacks were 5 for 5 until that moment. Will be a pitch. Best wants to throw again. He's going to throw again deep downfield. It will be intercepted. Turn into an arm punt. Picked up on the right side. There is a flag on the play as well. So, yeah. But you know what? It was worth the gamble. And with the flag, the run back's not even... I mean, it will be technically, I think, in a sense, all things considered better than an incompletion.
Depends what the flag is for.
Ineligible player downfield, offense number 75. Penalty will be declined. Result of the play is 1st and 10 Marlborough.
All right, just assumed it was going to be another block in the back because we've seen a million of those today.
Now, one of the Raiders linemen is very difficult, Dan, when you're an offensive lineman on these halfback pass type plays, because you've got to maintain your run block. You've got to make it look to the defense like you're just blocking for the ball carrier, but at the same time, you can't get more than a yard downfield. It's a very difficult needle to thread, and on that occasion, Miguel Gonzalez wasn't able to do it.
Did you actually catch who got that interception?
No clue.
Oh, a bad snap on first down. Has to be eaten there by Medrano. And Marlborough, I think, was thinking, we had our one shot. I don't think we're going to get anywhere from here.
This is the end of the first half.
Yeah, I think once that bad snap happened and Medrano fell on it, they realized, you know what? We're going to get the ball back in a second anyway. We've got the lead. Let's just take this lead into the locker room, shall we? An impressive first half for the Panther offense, but really, Dan, all things considered, you've got to be pleased with the way the Raiders have looked, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. 14-7 at halftime. It's a lot closer than some other games we've seen here this season.
Yeah, no, this is definitely the closest game the Raiders have been in this season. Marlborough, they had a good start to the season with a big win over Sharon, but since then, they've had some challenging opponents, and they've had their fits and starts. And only a one-score lead for the Panthers in the half. You know, the Raiders will take that. I mean, we've seen a few games get away from them pretty early, but they've been right in it the whole time. And they showed some promise on that last drive, but just had trouble with the consistency. And one of those things that the Raiders really need to work on is trying to shore up that O-line and try to make sure that whoever is going to attempt to pass in the backfield is going to have time to actually get a ball off. Because we've seen a lot of scrambling and improvisation to try to gain time.
Yeah, we've seen scrambling. We've seen plays nearly blown up in the backfield. We've also seen a lot, Dan, of just designed quarterback movement, plays that are designed to allow Zacchaeus Collins to move outside the pocket and not really even create the possibility for him to stand in the pocket, feel the rush, and get sacked. Marlborough's only gotten to him for one sack, and a lot of that is because they've been doing a lot of rolling out when they've been going to the air.
And although there have been a couple of times where Collins has never intended to pass and wanted to run with it, only to find Noah Soden breaking into the backfield and saying poo-poo to that.
That is also true. Noah Soden, it turns out, is good at football. There are plenty of players who are good at football. We are going to see more of them in the second half. Dan and I will take the halftime break with the players, but folks, come on back for the third quarter. It's Fitchburg High School football here on FATV. Back here at Crocker Field, Marlborough leads Fitchburg by a score of 14-7 on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined, of course, by Dan Bullock. And Dan, Marlborough's offense has really been impressive, especially moving the ball, well, exclusively moving the ball on the ground.
Absolutely. 199 yards of offense in the first half for the Marlborough Panthers, all on the ground. It's the third straight week we've been seeing teams just stick exclusively to the ground game because it's worked so effectively for those opposition teams against Fitchburg. 199 yards on the ground, all through three different players taking the snaps, taking the ball, running with it. Noah Soden, the most impressive, over 100 yards, and he's got 2 touchdowns, too.
Fitchburg's offense, on the other hand, looking a little more dangerous than they have in previous weeks. Zacchaeus Collins doing a good job moving the ball through the air and on the ground, but the biggest pass play, Dan, did not come with a pass by their quarterback.
Indeed. That was, they'd handed off to Ali Cahill, handed back off to Jerome Best, scrambled trying to break off the Marlborough pressure, got a ball off. There were 4 different Panthers in the area, but it was Zacchaeus Collins who had the best look of all to haul it in for a first down. It was a surprising, stunning play, although that drive ultimately petered out. The Raiders have been sticking in this game, 14-7. And we'll see some of the highlights here. And you can see one of the things that Marlborough's had going for them, number 11 in the white, orange, and black, Noah Soden, came into today with 9 touchdowns on the ground. He's now got 11 to match his number. That was his first from 39 yards out. And here's Zacchaeus Collins equalizing for the Raiders, cutting up and diving across the goal line, a 9-yard touchdown run. Extra point from Zahir Chavez Hernandez was true. But Marlborough was able to bounce back.
Not before, Dan. They had another drive inside the 5-yard line, lost the ball on a bad snap. Then on their next possession, this option pitch to Soden gave the Panthers the 14-7 lead.
And this was the play we were talking about. The handoff to Cahill, it went to Jerome Best. You could see nearly broken up in the backfield by Daniel Pontes, but there's the throw off from Jerome Best and caught at the 40 by Zacchaeus Collins. That was, I think, the play of the day, the most incredible play. The play where my voice went to the highest of octaves.
Listen, it's good to be excited. It's an exciting day. It's a close football game. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Listen, I understand Friday Night Lights, there was a whole television show or whatever. This is fun. This is pretty. I want to do Saturday afternoon games at Crocker Field forever when we're not, also doing Saturday afternoon games at Elliott Field. We should keep doing those too. But what I'm saying is this is nice.
Yeah, this is a nice change of pace, by the way. The Falcons guarantee not to lose this week. They are off.
It's a good way not to lose.
Yep, they are playing Mass Maritime next Saturday at noontime. We'll have that game for you right here on FATV. That will be a very interesting football game. It's actually going to be a doubleheader of coverage next week because we'll have the 4th and final game of this homestand for the Raiders on Friday night as they take on the Westboro Rangers. And I will tell you this, if Marlborough gets through the rest of this game without attempting a pass, I guarantee that no passing streak is going to end next week because Marlborough likes the pass.
Westboro, they take it to the air, I take it?
Yeah, Westboro likes the pass. They've got a very good quarterback. Last year threw 6 touchdown passes against the Raiders. That's a lot.
It's more than you'd like to give up, honestly.
It is. Yep. That was a game where the clock ran in the 3rd. It was one of those days. Mentioned earlier in the broadcast that the Raiders' touchdown broke a streak, a 9+ quarter scoreless streak against the Panthers. The last 2 meetings, Marlborough won in shutout fashion, but they will not win this one in shutout fashion today. In fact, the game last year between these 2 teams, the clock didn't run until late in the 4th quarter. That was one of the better performances the Raiders had, and Marlborough, they lost Miguel Borges to graduation, who scored all 4 touchdowns, 1 in every quarter for the Panthers last year. And so having some younger personnel at their disposal means the game today perhaps would be a little closer than it was in years past, and it's been proving that way thus far.
It has been, as advertised, a very good contest, and we're underway in the 3rd quarter.
Taken in at the 15-yard line by Julian Claro. Will go up the middle and taken down just past the 25. Claro is asking for a face mask. He's not going to get one.
Something I noticed, Dan, while the Panthers were setting up, they were setting up as though they were going to return the kick on the left side. They had their whole kickoff unit on, ready to go, and then the officials had to point at them and say, no, guys, turn it around. You're going the other way.
Well, Since Marlborough received, Fitchburg had the right to choose what direction they're going in, and they switched it around. So Marlborough was going in the same direction they were in the second quarter. First down, we have whistles that are going to kill the play here.
See an official indicating illegal motion on the far side.
False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
See if we can spot the infraction. It's right there up at the top of the screen. That's one of the tight ends. Just flinched a little bit too early. It'll back the Panthers up 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 15 now for Marlborough.
Got that as the 7th accepted penalty of this contest. Last week we only had 1, and that was on an extra point. So now some issues there. Benway is the quarterback now for Marlborough. That's Michael Benway, the senior captain, who breaks past midfield. Was held out the first half, but he comes in and makes an instant impact for the Panthers.
Dan, we were talking with the junior varsity head coach before the game. He did mention there were some players who were not going to play the first half. This is Michael Benway, the senior, taking his first snap of the game. You never want to speculate because obviously we don't know the whole entire picture, but you know, it's a high school kid held out for exactly the first half of a football game. Listen, we're intelligent people. We can draw conclusions.
Benway on his first touch gets 33 yards and a first down for the Panthers. 1st and 10, Seamus Mahoney will go up the middle of the field. He'll be wrestled down to the sprint turf by Isaiah Solomon.
And Dan, now that the Panthers have gone to Benway, worth noting he does have 1 passing touchdown on the season. We may well see Marlborough go to the air at some point. But they're still having a lot of success on the ground, so maybe they won't need to.
It's definitely a possibility. It's going to be Soden's first touch of this particular period as he goes to the right side. And Zacchaeus Collins was able to get his hands around the ankles of Soden. There's no snow, it's just Soden.
This is good work by Collins, one-on-one with Soden. Soden could have barreled right through him and picked up a first down and plenty more, but Collins was able to make the initial hit and then hang on to the ankle, drag Soden down. Now it's 3rd down.
This is just the 2nd time Marlborough's faced 3rd down in this contest. They converted the last time out. Benway is under center and holds it there for Soden. Goes around the line, found some space on the left side at the 25, the 20, the 15, 10, 5, and touchdown Panthers. Noah Soden with his 3rd score of the contest, up to a dozen on the season, and it's 20-7 Panthers.
Soden takes the initial handoff here, Dan. As soon as he turns this corner, he's able to evade the arm tackle of Jerome Best. Got a couple Raider players who look like they've got the angle on him. But in addition to being big and tough, he's also the fastest guy there. He just outruns them for 6 points.
That line drive sneaks through the uprights, and it's good off the foot of Christian Fernandez. 10:09 to go, 3rd quarter, 21-7 Marlborough.
Panthers moving the ball exclusively on the ground, Dan, but still showing the quick strike capability. The more Fitchburg sells out to stop this run, the likelier it becomes that 1 missed tackle turns into a disaster for the Red Raider defense.
We know with some personnel, with some players, that when Soden gets out to the outside like that, there are some players who can run him down, but Soden just shows incredible speed and poise. And the junior running back now up to 12 touchdown runs on the season. He also does have a passing touchdown to his credit, too.
Now, Dan, this becomes a very important possession for the Raiders. They're down 2 scores here. They don't want to see this one get out of hand. They need, obviously they need points to get back in the game, but they truly, desperately need at least to get a few first downs here, give their defense a chance to catch their breath. So you see the ball blown off the tee again. It's a fairly steady breeze, left to right pretty much. See the flag out at the far corner is fully extended.
can count most of the 50 stars. We picked up at the 25-yard line. Jerome Best has it at the 35 to the 40. Breaking out of one tackle, still holding on to it. He's got half the Panthers on his back, but he'll carry them to the 45-yard line.
Number 7, the first one to wrap him up. Otherwise, we turn out to the 45-yard line, where the Red Raiders take over first and 10.
Jerome Best really is, he and Zacchaeus Collins really are the dual engines that drive this Red Raider offense, whether it's on the offense or here on special teams. Great return for him, sets Fitchburg up with great field position at their own 45-yard line.
9:58 to go in the third quarter, and a 2-score lead for the Panthers. Raiders with their first drive of the second half. Out of the empty backfield, Zacchaeus Collins found a hole on the right side. Taken down by the linebacking core past midfield. It's an 8-yard gain on first down.
Haven't had a ton of success running at Soden thus far today, but he tries the inside pursuit. Collins bounces it to the outside, gets about 7 yards.
Collins 8 carries for 33 yards in this contest. Best happens to be the best at running thus far in this contest. He's 6 for 49. That's on the Raiders side. 276 yards on the ground for Marlborough on the other end. 2 in the backfield, a lot of players to work with. Collins lost the football, and it's picked up by the Panthers. There's Sam Claude, the senior, is Johnny on the spot to pick up that ball. That brings an end to the drive.
Dan, every time the Raiders have come out in this particular formation with 2 receivers on the near side and 2 men in the backfield, it's always been a quarterback keeper, and this time it's just great work by Marlborough. I think it's finally Patrick Haviland who knocks the ball loose. And as you said, it was Sam Claude who picked it up. We mentioned that the Raiders needed to hold on the ball and really wanted some points. They do neither.
Oh, and now Benway missed the throw. The pitch out to the right side. It's a legitimate question to see who's got the football. It is Marlborough who recovers. That's a big loss, though, on the bad pitch.
It's going to be a 17, 18, 19-yard loss. We mentioned again, Michael Benway, the senior, did not start this game at quarterback for the Panthers. This is just his second possession. We saw Medrano run a very similar play to this for one of the touchdowns for the Panthers. That time the pitch back from Benway was well over the running back Soden's head. I believe it is Benway, the quarterback, who fell on it. But not doing so great there.
That's a big loss of yardage there. Take a big bite out of Benway's stats there. He's going to keep it himself and try to get most of them back, but he'll get tripped up on the right side boundary by Solomon.
Solomon making a nice play over on the right side on Benway.
All right, Dan, is 2nd down and 28 and you don't throw the ball? I have to ask, it's a legitimate question at this point. Do the Panthers have, like, wide receivers? Do they have throwing plays in the playbook? They have guys who, and the statistics will tell us that those guys have thrown touchdowns on the year.
I know Calvin McFarland and Christian Fernandez each have touchdown receptions this year. 3rd down and 28 now for Marlborough. This will be a little more difficult to convert. The first 2 3rd downs they were able to take care of. This one, not so much. They just go with the drop the middle, and Soden gets to the 34-yard line. That's 6 down and 22 to go.
And it's 4th down, so we'll probably see the punting unit for the Panthers.
Get to learn who the Panthers punter is.
The way the Panthers are milling around, I'm not entirely sure that they know who their punter is.
2 Raiders slowly walking in the direction of where they would go to receive a punt.
We've also got Luis Vallejo Salem, their captain. Saw him kind of hobbling around, maybe favoring that right leg.
Marlborough's not really in a genuine hurry to snap this ball.
It feels like an hour and a half has transpired since the last play.
We now have less than 10 seconds on the play clock, and Marlborough is still not interested in snapping it. We have 5 seconds left on the play clock. And I think Marlborough is going to use their first timeout.
So with 6:32 to play here in the third quarter,
Marlborough uses their first charge timeout of the half.
we'll take this opportunity to thank the underwriters who make this and every remote production possible here on FATV.
Fitchburg Access Television's remote productions are brought to you in part by Rollstone Bank and Trust, Acme Carpet One, All One Credit Union, the Sentinel and Enterprise, Minuteman Press, and Unitil.
6:32 to play here, third quarter. Marlborough leading Fitchburg by a score of 21-7. I'm John Gogarty, joined, of course, by Dan Bolak. Dan, we have finally figured out that Marlborough does have a punter.
Looks like Christian Fernandez, who is their kicker, is also their punter. He'll take it at the 22, and he'll put it on the ground, and it'll bounce a lot and not go terribly far and not strike a Raider. Ultimately doesn't even get to the line to gain.
I was going to say, Dan, that would not even have been a first down punt.
Go right to the 45-yard line where the Raiders started their last drive.
It's as if someone said, you know what, let's just take 4:37 off the clock and poof, here you go, do it again. It's a good return by Jerome Best. Raider offense comes out, first drive of the half, that sort of thing. No? Can we just pretend that didn't happen?
Yeah.
It would take a fumble out of the scorebook.
It would. But yeah, now 6:23 to go in the third. It's just as it was when there was 9-something to go in the third. After some adventures carrying the ball that we're just going to forget about.
Yeah, it's not necessarily anybody's highlights for today.
First and 10 for the Raiders. Zacchaeus Collins going to keep it himself. Stumbles a little bit. Took a little bit of pressure there from Haviland. And it'll be a gain of 2 yards.
Dan, there's a philosophy that I've come to live by as a commentator, and that is if I know what play is coming, the other team knows what play is coming. Every time Fitchburg has come out in that exact formation with a quarterback, no running backs in the backfield, 2 tight ends on the right side, 2 split ends on the right side, every single time it's been a quarterback keeper. And if I know it's going to be a quarterback keeper, I feel reasonably confident that the Panthers know it's going to be a quarterback keeper. And that might have something to do with why that play didn't get that much yardage.
Second down and 8. Collins to the right again. Trying to break past the line of scrimmage. He gets spun down. Patrick Haviland will have his second tackle in as many carries. Collins gets a yard.
This time, at least, it's a different look for the Raiders. They're not necessarily telegraphing it, although they do once again go to Collins, and he is unable to gain anything positive.
Just as soon as they were thinking a yard, it's like, no, actually, no yards? Okay, no yards.
No yards. Well, he needs 8 of those yards on third down here. We've seen Marlborough is more than willing and more than capable of grinding the clock when they have the ball.
From under center, pitch to Best. Best getting to that left side flank, just has to outrun the Panthers to the flank, but he's not able to get past Calvin McFarland. First time we've called McFarland's name today in terms of a play made on the field. Gets past midfield to the 49-yard line. Raiders still need 4 more.
And Dan, I don't see Fitchburg's punting unit coming out on the field. I think they're going to go for it, and I think this is the right call. It's late in it's already past the halfway point of the third quarter. You're down by 2 scores. It's going to get late awful early if you give the ball up. Make the Panthers take it from you.
Raiders have to get to the 45. That line painted right on the field. They may be trying the hard count, see if they can get Marlborough to jump. See if the Panthers will give it to them for free, or if they've got to earn it.
Collins is just standing with his hands on his hips. He's not even doing a hard count.
Play clock under 10, down to 5. Looking and waiting. Are they going to snap it?
No,
Flag
they're not.
flies
The
in
quarterback's
the air.
not even. The quarterback's not even under center, not even making it an option for the Panthers.
Delay game, offense, 5-yard penalty. It's 4th down.
I don't understand not only the decision, because, listen, if you take the delay of game, it's because you're backing up 5 yards so you have more room to punt, which, okay, fine, whatever. I guess you've got the wind at your back, which helps, but I don't understand the decision. I understand the decision. I don't agree with the decision. I don't understand the execution.
Chavez Hernandez will get a good boot into it. It's going to take a hop at the 10. Going to be picked up there around the 8-yard line. McFarland's got to do something with it. Change direction 2-3 times. Finally gets past the 20. Still on his feet. He's finally tackled at the 31-yard line.
It's a good kick. You did have the wind at your back, but you back the returner up. You create more yardage for him. He gets a good return. You gained, what, 20 yards with the punt and the return? Is there something I'm missing, Dan? Don't shrug. The people can't see you shrug. It's an audio medium.
From the 31-yard line, 1st and 10 for Marlborough. Run to the right side. It's just, I think, a conservative strategy in a sense. I liked the idea of being a little more aggressive, but I think we're a little more new school.
It's also not our football team. Like, we can say whatever we want. We're going to go home and nobody's going to yell at us for a week. So,
Who had the last carry?
I didn't see. It's my job to say. I'm going to assume it was 11 because it's usually 11.
Just trying to enter into my book, and my book disagreed.
Oh.
Love the disagreements. When I say how long that play went, and they say, no, that was no yard, right? No, it wasn't no yards. He definitely returned it some distance.
You did indeed do that.
Marlborough is taking their time again. They're doing that again. They waited for the back judge to put his hand up to indicate there's 10 on the play clock, and that's when they got in position. Sewed in that time up the middle, gets a bunch of yards, all the way to the 47-yard line, and another first down for the Panthers, their 16th of the contest.
We saw this earlier in the game from Marlborough, Dan. They are more than happy to just run this ball, grind the clock, take as much time as you like. Again, we talked about it in the first half. Marlborough did not bring very many players. They have the 11 guys they have on offense and maybe another 15 on the sideline. Some of those guys are wearing pajama pants, so I don't think they're playing football today.
After I skipped the player with the pajama pants, I counted 23.
Total?
Total, yeah.
It's not very many.
It's not a lot, but we've seen teams with smaller benches than that. So to the left again, gets into Raider territory to the 49-yard line.
That first down play earlier in the drive was a carry by Seamus Mahoney. He's had a good day as well. We've spent a lot of time talking up Noah Soden, but Mahoney's also been a potent weapon for the Panthers in their backfield.
Also got 48 yards on the ground from Isaac Medrano, who started at quarterback. They've switched in the second half to Michael Benway. Carry by Mahoney to the left side on second down. Wrestled down by 4 different Raiders. Mate Nagabe and Troch, the first 2 there, and hold him to just 2 yards. That'll be the last play I call today because we've reached 3-quarter time. 21-7, Panthers in front.
What are we saying, there's no overtime? Or do I get overtime? I guess I get overtime.
You get the first overtime if we have one.
That's okay. Works for me. Fitchburg High School Band continues to play as we get ready for the fourth quarter of action. Dan, Marlborough's offense really not exactly as dangerous looking as they were in that first half. I don't know if it's rust from Benway, or obviously there was the errant pitch that cost them a drive pretty much, but Fitchburg's defense has done their job for the most part. Obviously the Panthers scored on their first possession, but aside from that, it was not coming easily for Marlborough.
Yeah, since the errant pitch, it's been a little more challenging for Marlborough to gain some yardage. They're going to have a third down they're facing, their fourth of the day. They're 2 for 3. This one is significantly easier than the last one.
Yeah, the last one was 3rd and 28. This is 3rd and like 5, 4.
Not even 28 feet.
Nope. Panthers will go left to right, so they'll be moving with the wind at their back in this fourth quarter. Benway under center. Try the jet sweep to the near side across the 45, picking up a first down and more. Across the 40 to the 35, still on his feet is Calvin McFarland, finally ridden out of bounds. Big gain for him. I believe, Dan, that's McFarland's first carry of the game.
It is. He's the 5th different Panther to carry the ball. And on the sweep there, he gets significant yardage. They give him to the 30-yard line. 17-yard gain on his first touch. I mean, the first touches for a lot of these Panthers have been pretty successful.
Panthers receivers have not gotten involved in the game at all. Marlborough still yet to complete a pass through the air, but this time they get McFarland involved on the ground. Go with the jet sweep to him, pick up the first down. Now it's Soden on the right side. Hit after a gain of a couple. And he kept his legs moving, but the officials blew the whistle. Forward progress stopped after a gain of about 3. Call it now 2nd down and 7 for Marlborough.
So many different players to meet him there. You know, Mate Nagabe was in on that one, and you could pick just about anybody on the line for the other one. I'm going to randomly pick Coheel.
Sure. Good tackle, Allie. 2nd down and 7. Benway under center. Hands off again to Soden, and he is hit immediately, driven back. They're going to call forward progress, so it's only a loss of about half a yard. But, hey, Dan, you know who had that tackle?
Allie Coheel.
Allie Coheel. Good tackle, Allie.
Not even a guess that time. That time he was there. Lionel Gillet was there as well. No gain.
Bursting through the line, lowering the shoulder. Good work that time by the Red Raider defense. I knew I was going to do it once. It's a Saturday afternoon. I was going to do it once. There's one for the swear jar.
It's pretty empty this year, at least.
3rd down 7. Mahoney, the ball carrier. He's across the 25, rather, but he needed the 20. It's a gain of about 3. Set up 4th and 5. I would say the wind is at the Panthers' back, but it's actually died a bit. This would be a 42-yard field goal. Something tells me they're not going to kick. So we will see Marlborough go for it.
Maybe if they were up by 4 scores, it'd be worth the novelty, but only by 2. They'll have a go. Need to get to the 20 for a first down.
Benway went under center, tried to draw the Raiders off. That didn't work. Marlborough will take timeout.
2nd charge, timeout of the half for Marlborough.
So we saw the Raiders, Dan, on their 4th and 4 come out and ostensibly try to draw Marlborough offside. That didn't work. Panthers unable to do so here. They're clearly going for it no matter what, though.
A punt would be questionable at this point. In fact, I would say that if you tried to punt it, you probably would just kick it into the end zone, even if you're trying not to.
The last punt from Christian Fernandez really didn't go that far. But while we have a moment, folks, we do want to let you know that you can watch FATV programming anywhere in the world for absolutely free on your phone through the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, on your Fire TV, Roku, or Apple TV devices, and of course streaming online at FATV.org. Go to FATV.org/watch-FATV to learn more.
You're already watching us through one of those manners. Now you know some more ways you can watch us.
4th and 5. This pass is batted at the line and falls incomplete. Officials rule it an incomplete pass.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. Result of the play is a turnover on downs.
So the Panthers finally go to the air. Fitchburg was ready for it. They get tremendous pass rush, Dan, and it is a turnover on downs.
First pass attempt in 2 weeks against this Raider side. And you can see Jaden Jones just broke in there and broke that up. Didn't give Benway a chance to release that ball cleanly. They call it an incomplete pass. It works out well either way because it's now Red Raider football with 9:45 to go in this contest.
Time is starting to run out for the Red Raiders. They need points. Down by 2 scores here. I formation. Pitch comes to Best on the near side. He turns the corner at the 30. He leaps over a man. He's got a first down. A flag comes in. Flag thrown from the far side of the field. Best did have the yardage for a first down. Sean Burke having a discussion with the official from the far side. Now he's going to come over and talk with Paul DiGeronimo. Coach DiGeronimo is not necessarily very happy with it.
Personal foul on the offense for hurdling. This is a 15-yard penalty. It's first down.
Dan, I learned a thing. It's illegal to jump over a person.
Yeah, quite like that. I guess it's because he set himself up and tried to leap over him. And so we're in the wrong sport for that, unfortunately.
It's a very athletic move by Best. Comes out here in the open field. I mean, you can see he's clearly doing it.
Yep.
He leaps over, and he's also pushing off of the opponent, and I wonder if that might have something to do with it, where not only is he jumping over the defender, he's actually pushing that defender down. So it negates and then some that yardage. Had been a 10-yard run, it is instead a 15-yard penalty from that spot. So 1st and 15 now for the Raiders. Best comes in motion, play action to him. Collins will keep it himself. Evades 1 tackle, gets across the 25, and is brought down at the 26. Jack Sincata among the Panthers who were there to wrap him up. Daniel Pontes in as well. You see Zacchaeus Collins moving very gingerly, really favoring that left leg down. That is a laboring quarterback right now for the Red Raiders. Collins has been really the chief playmaker for Fitchburg, one of them. If he's compromised in any way, it's got to be an advantage for Marlborough. Now 2nd down, they'll hand off up the middle. That's Justin Medina not getting much. And I will say, Dan, this time they came out in that formation I had called out earlier with the 2 tight ends and the 2 receivers to the right side, and it was not a keeper. It was a handoff to Medina. So Fitchburg does indeed mix up the play calling. Not much on the positive result, though. Gain of a yard. It'll be 3rd down and about 8.
One of those hopes is that you run a play so many times out of a certain formation, you get them to think, oh yeah, that's what's coming, and then you try to switch it up and do something else. They finally try to do that, but even then, the something else only got 1 yard.
Collins from the shotgun, rolls to his right, dumps it off. Pass is complete to Cohiel. He's across the 30, 35. He's got a first down. Stop the clock, move the chains. Fitchburg's on the move. Allie Cohiel's out to about the 37-yard line. It'll be first down Fitchburg.
Raiders are going to take whatever they can get.
Another designed rollout. Collins on the move from the snap. He's able to find Cohiel in the open field. Good work by him after the catch. Pick up the yardage needed for a first down. Now Medina's in the backfield to the left of Collins. Collins rolls to his left, looks left, throws for the sideline for Best. That's incomplete. He wants a flag. It did look like Kaiwan Kimball gave him a little bit of a push. Pass was a fair bit away from him. I don't know if the officials decided that it wasn't interference or if it was, but it was an uncatchable ball. Paul DiGeronimo's not happy. We'll take another look.
Yeah, I thought I saw the push there, and I didn't like that either, but you
can see Best is beside himself at the no call.
A bit frustrated, definitely thought, with the contact that was, impeding his progress to try to catch that football, but ultimately just not enough to draw the marker.
Christian Torres on the field as an extra receiver for the Raiders. Pass is complete to Hall. He pitches for Best. That's going to be a first down for Fitchburg. The hook and lateral. A flag comes in well after the play. Sam De Azevedo was in there. Raiders going deep, deep, deep into the playbook. Bust out the hook and lateral, try to pick up a first down. The belief here in the press box is that this penalty is going to be against the Panthers for the hit as Jerome Best was going out of bounds.
After the play was over, personal foul, defense, 15 yards out of the end of the play. It's first down.
And that is indeed the case. A 15-yard personal foul penalty gets the Raiders into Panther territory. And they still have a chance.
If they didn't call Kaiwan Kimball for the pass interference in the previous play, but they call him for the unnecessary tackle there. As ultimately those 15 yards came in one way or another, and the Raiders now 38 yards from goal.
Still in the shotgun. Best comes in motion. He takes the handoff, pitches it back. Now back to Collins. Collins wants to go long. He's got Hall. Pass is underthrown. Hall dives, and it's incomplete. They gave it to Best, who gave it to Luis Santos, who got it back in the arms of Zacchaeus Collins. Collins wasn't able to get enough behind the throw. And it came up short of the reach of Alan Hall. Dan, how deep does this Raider playbook go?
This is a double flea flicker?
Pretty much. The only thing I would say, Dan, is Collins didn't really step into that throw. He just kind of got it and chucked it. He was a little bit flat-footed, was a little bit high, came up short. Now second down and 10. Collins rolls to his right, throws to his right. Pass is complete on the far side. Jerome Best. He's down to the 20-yard line. That's good for a Fitchburg first down. 6:27 to play. Raiders down by 2 scores. They very much need points on this drive.
Go with the conventional rollout and throw. 17 yards and a first for the Raiders.
Man in motion is Best. He's going to get it. Coming to the near side. Gets a block. Turns the corner. He's across the 20. Spun down at the 17-yard line. It's a gain of about 4. Call it 2nd and 6 now for Fitchburg.
That time a simple run on the sweep to the left side. 4-yard gain. 67 yards on the ground for Best today. Coming into today, Best, strangely enough, had 16 carries for just 8 yards, mainly because there were so many plays that were blown up in the backfield in the past couple of weeks. But Best has definitely had a lot of comfort running the ball today and had a lot of success in many different ways. Also, 69 receiving yards on 5 catches.
Now Collins on the keeper on second down. Good blocking by the line. It's going to be marked down just shy of the 11, call it right on the 12-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 1 now for Fitchburg. Raiders hurry up to the line. They do have all 3 of their timeouts. And Collins fumbles. They try to sneak. They wanted to do a quick quarterback sneak. I think it would have been a first down, but Collins couldn't handle the snap. Just falls on the ball. It's a Zacchaeus Collins has been banged up on this drive. We've seen him hobbling, favoring the left leg. This time he's just not able to collect the snap. Fortunately for Fitchburg, he's able to dive on it. But that could be a huge play, Dan. Instead of 3rd and 1, probably going to be a first down. Now Fitchburg needs 2 yards to maintain any hope in this game. And the Panthers will take time out to think about it.
Marlborough uses their final charge time out of the half.
4:35 remaining in this contest. 2-score lead for Marlborough. Fitchburg threatening a little bit here. But yeah, on that 3rd and 1, if Collins is able to keep a hold of that football and push forward, he's almost certainly getting the first down.
He had the hole. The blocking was there. Fitchburg did everything right. They hurried up to the line. They caught Marlborough before they were able to get set. That was going to be a first down. But Collins, unable to handle the snap, falls on the football. Instead, it's 4th and 2. And in a way, Dan, I know Marlborough wanted the breather as well. This is a bit of a gift to Fitchburg. Give the Raiders a chance to catch the breath, really think about their play call. Fitchburg still has all 3 timeouts.
Now they can think a little harder on what they want to run here. Hey, we know this has been one of the interesting things about this offense this year. We've seen so many different plays we weren't even expecting to think that was conceivable that they could run in this contest.
It's been trick play after trick play after trick play. Collins is the quarterback. Best is lined up on the far slot. It's a keeper to the right side. Collins spins through the hole. He's got a first down. Needed 2 yards. He got 2.5. They'll spot the ball with the nose just shy of the 10-yard line. So it will be 1st and 10 for Fitchburg. Raiders can get a first down without getting a touchdown. It's 1st and 10 just outside the 10-yard line. Same formation, 2 tight ends on the right, Best in the right side slot, Collins from the shotgun. Rolls to his right, looking right, now with cut up field. Dives forward, he's got about 4 yards, it'll be 2nd and 6. .347 to go, 21-7 Panthers. Fitchburg needs points on this drive to stay in this game. I formation, handoff goes to the fullback Coheel. He's hit at the line, gets a yard, and then forward progress is stopped. It'll be 2nd and 5 from just outside, 3rd and 5 rather, from just outside the 5.
First charge, time out of the half, Fitchburg.
Raiders take their first timeout, 3:23 to go. Fitchburg really has not been terribly concerned with the clock on this drive. They've just been running their offense, letting things go as they go. Down to 3:23, they take their first timeout.
This drive already 13 plays, 70 yards, 6 minutes and 22 seconds. Raiders up to 239 yards on the contest, 129 on the ground, 110 through the air.
It's been an impressive game for Fitchburg, really showing the progress, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But it hasn't really resulted in points. They got 1 touchdown back in the first quarter, scoreless since then. They need 2 more, a couple of extra points or maybe conversions, if they're to tie this one up or take the lead.
Got 2 plays to get 4 yards. They'll at least reset the downs.
Collins will go under center. Best is set way back. He's 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage. 2 tight ends come in motion to the left. Pitch comes to Best. High pitch, but he handles it. Good blocking. He's to the 5. He is in. Touchdown, Raiders! Jerome Best from 5 yards out. Makes it 21-13, 3:17 to go. Dan, you and I were having a conversation about just this situation before the game. When you're down by 14, You score a touchdown. Book says go for 2. The Raiders are going to kick. Good snap, good hold. So here Chavez Hernandez puts it through. It is a 1-touchdown game, 21-14 in favor of the Panthers.
The reason we were talking about that was just last week, 7 days ago, Shrewsbury was playing Algonquin. Shrewsbury was up 28-7 with under 2 minutes to go in the contest. Shrewsbury did not win that game. Algonquin scored with 1:45 to make it 28-14. Got the extra point, got the onside kick, scored without 45 seconds, make it 28-20. They went for 2, got it, made it 28-22, recovered the onside kick again, scored with 15 seconds left, tied it at 28 so that they could try to kick the extra point for the win, but it was blocked. Game ultimately was won in overtime, touchdown and conversion there, can't go for an extra point in overtime. And 36-28 Algonquin with one of the more inconceivable comebacks that you'll ever see. Shows you just about anything's possible.
Anything is possible. This one on paper would not be quite as impressive, but for this Fitchburg team, a team that has not won all year and did not win all last year, they would take it if they can get it.
16-game losing streak coming into today. If they could reverse fortunes here with an onside recovery, that would be something. But even then, they still have 2 timeouts left and 3:17 on the clock. There's still time for a defensive stop if this doesn't go their way.
I don't think they have to kick an onside here, Dan, and I don't think they're going to. Marlborough has 10 players within 10 yards of midfield. They're ready for an onside kick. And they do try it, does Fitchburg. Bounces at the 45. Picked up by one of the up men for the Panthers. That's Alex Zepta. Sophomore tight end. He picks it up and dives to the turf. So Marlborough's offense will come back out on the field. Somewhere in Victoria, Texas, a bald man is smiling. 3:16 to play. Panthers have the ball. They need 1, maybe 2 first downs to ice this game. It's been a real struggle for them since their first drive of this second half. And the struggles continue. We get flags and whistles at the snap. It's going to be 1st and 15.
False start, offense. Not all 11 players came to a complete set. 5 yards, it's first down.
Panthers tried to come up to the line, catch the Raiders when they weren't set, but the problem is the Panthers weren't set either. That's 5 yards.
Everyone's got to be set for 1 full second at some point. And there were players that were not set for that full second. -5 yards makes it a little harder for the Panthers.
1st and 15 for Marlborough. They're at their own 41. They need Fitchburg's 44 to move the chains. Benway hands off to the first back. That's Soden. Ball's on the ground. It's a loose football on the far side. Who's got it? I think Marlborough wound up with it. It was a crazy play. Results in about a 3-yard gain for Marlborough. It'll be 2nd down and 12.
All I'm going to say is I don't have enough time to put this all in my book. But you can see Luis Santos.
He actually tries to hand that ball back to Benway. Oh, that could have been a disastrous decision by Soden. Fortunately for Marlborough, there were a bunch of Panther players there in addition to the Raiders. It's a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 12. Clock continues to roll under 2:25 to play. We've seen Marlborough take plenty of time off the play clock. We're under 10 now. Panthers come set. Man in motion to the near side. Benway hands off to Soden once again. And once again, he is swarmed on the left side, and this time the Raiders will take their 2nd timeout.
Fitchburg uses their 2nd charge, time out of the half.
So now it is going to be 3rd down and about 8 for the Panthers. Again, they need to get to Fitchburg's 44-yard line. And if I'm doing my math right, Dan, they get this 1st down. Even if Fitchburg immediately calls timeout, that's still game.
Yeah, 40-second play clock, 3 kneel downs would do it. Or get yourself pretty close to it.
3 kneel downs, you might have to take a snap, run around in the backfield, and chuck it out of bounds or something. But it would functionally end the contest if the Panthers get a first down here. Michael Benway did not play the first half, came back in to start the third quarter. He's under center. 2 backs behind him. And it's a handoff to the left, bursting through the line, picking up the first down and more, dragged down out of bounds. Big run there by Soden. Panthers tried it 3 times. It finally paid dividends for them. The only real boon to the Raiders, there's that swear jar again. The only real boon for the Raiders is that he went out of bounds, but still that is an enormous first down.
Definitely makes it extremely difficult now.
Raider defense has played well in this second half. Now on first down, they hand it off straight up the gut. I believe that was the fullback Seamus Mahoney again. He gets a couple. And the Raiders take their final timeout.
Fitchburg uses their final charge timeout of the half.
So with 1:45 to go now, Dan, it's second down. Marlborough runs a play. That takes 5 seconds. 40 seconds off the clock, that's a minute. Run the third down play, that takes 5 seconds. 40 seconds off the play clock, that's 15 seconds, maybe?
Maybe about that much.
Not quite enough time for the Panthers to just kneel it out, but
I think part of it also comes down to the timing too. Also, it is the back judge who keeps the time back there, and they've got to keep 40. I've seen a game, I remember a couple of years ago, Fitchburg played at Neshoba, and they got a third down stop with 49 seconds left, and Neshoba didn't run another play. The arm didn't go up till there was 8 seconds left. So sometimes you get a margin of error there.
Absolutely. Fitchburg had a chance to stop Marlborough on that last third down. The Panthers were able to convert. Now second down and 9 for Marlborough. One more first down would really wrap this up. And Soden wants to do just that. He's across the 20-15-10, and he will take it just shy of the goal line. Goes out of bounds inside the 5. Another big run for Noah Soden. He's had a tremendous game. All 3 of the Marlborough touchdowns, he almost had another one there. And now, Dan, the Panthers can just run out this clock.
They can take 3 knees. There's also the argument that to try to get maximum power rating points, they could also try to punch it in here.
That's true. It does matter, margin of victory.
Yep. So the question is whether you want to do that or you just want to take your 3 kneel downs, take your dub, and move on.
Listen, I'm sure the Fitchburg players would be a little bit offended if Marlborough kept pushing for this point, and they are coming out in victory formation. So nope, it's a quarterback sneak formation. How about that? Benway takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers. Marlborough wants that margin of victory. For a team that came in 1-3, every little bit helps. 39 teams in Division 4. Marlborough was 25th coming in. They want to move up. To move up as much as they can, they need a 14-point victory.
That's pretty much the deal there. They definitely lined up. It's like they didn't have anybody sitting at the 15-yard line, so it wasn't really a victory formation. They ran from 1 yard away. They wanted to get that score. Now Hernandez, who's 3 for 3 today, has that one blocked.
Dan, I don't know if that one was blocked so much as it just hit one of the guys on the line. That ball never got any air whatsoever. Extra point is no good. Marlborough is denied the full benefit of the 14-point win, but still I imagine the power rankings are fairly satisfied with 13 points, right?
Yeah, kinda. I mean, they'd be a little more satisfied with the extra point, but, you know, it also means that Fitchburg does get the ball back. No timeouts. You see all the timeout stripes have gone away.
That's true.
It's a clean slate. Nobody can stop the clock freely. There's 92 seconds left of football. We still have a little more to play.
This is true. This game is not entirely over. Fitchburg does have Well, we've seen, Dan, they have a pretty deep playbook. They can certainly pull some things out.
Yep. In a sense, it's not the worst thing in the world for them to punch it in. I mean, it's because of the power ratings that they would even consider it.
No, that's it. That's the reason.
Yeah.
If the margin of victory was not a consideration, the correct thing for Marlborough to do would be to kneel on the football there. But they chose to go for the points, and this is what they risk. Now, Torres has trouble with the kickoff. He gets it into his arms and across the 30-yard line. So Fitchburg's offense comes back out. And really, Dan, obviously there's no perfect system, right? And just because we're seeing a consequence of the way the power ratings are designed now does not necessarily mean that they're bad. However, again, if the only objective was to win the game, Marlborough would have taken a knee, and this game would be over. Instead, both for Marlborough's chances of winning and just the general you don't want anybody to get hurt sense, there's still football to be played.
And you know, as someone with a couple of computer science degrees who've dabbled in the arts of trying to make computer systems to rank teams, I will tell you that when it comes to making a ranking system, one that has margin of victory in it will be far more effective than one that doesn't.
That's perfectly reasonable. Again, I am certainly not here to say that it is a bad system. This is just simply, from the Panthers' perspective, a consequence of it. First down carry for the Raiders, gets across the 35. That's Ali Coheel on the carry. Fitchburg again out of timeouts, so they'll need to hurry back up to the line. Collins will go from the shotgun, keeps it himself, running to the right side. This time he's met at the line, bounces out of one tackle, and ducks out of bounds at about the 40.
We'll say his progress was stopped before he got out of bounds. The clock keeps rolling.
It's a gain of about 5. Call it 3rd and 2 now for Fitchburg. Raiders hurrying players off the sideline as much as they can, but Collins is still going to come take a play call. Fitchburg not exactly selling out to try to make a 2-touchdown comeback here.
We know it's possible. We know it's been done, but sometimes you just know that it's not worth the gamble.
Pretty much. I think, just look at the ways that Zacchaeus Collins is moving around. I think it's for everybody's best that this game be over sooner rather than later. Third down carry goes to Torres on the jet sweep. He is wrapped up. I think he might get the first down, but one way or another, that will be the final play of the game. Panthers came into Crocker Field today feeling a little bit hungry. And what do Panthers eat, Dan? Panthers eat Raider meat. 27-14 is the final in favor of Marlborough.
That being said, this game went pretty decently, all things considered, for the Red Raiders. It's the first game this season that they did not get capped out. It's the first time they've held a team under 40. There were definitely improvements made in this contest.
Absolutely. Fitchburg is a team that was pretty much at or near the bottom and just trying to look for positives and trying to dig out of that hole. And part of that work is taking positives out of a 2-score loss like this. And there are plenty of positives to take. They looked very capable moving the ball offensively. They were able to pretty much shut down Marlborough for large parts of the 3rd and 4th quarters. It's not an entirely fruitless performance by the Raiders today, even though they are still searching for that victory.
254 yards of offense for the Raiders at the end of the day. Jerome Best 10 for 72 on the ground. Zacchaeus Collins 17 for 61. Each of them had a score. 110 yards of passing on 8 of 12 between Collins and Best. Best had a game-high 69 yards. Collins also had that 29-yard catch from Best. That is still one of the most remarkable plays we've seen this season, and we've seen some pretty remarkable plays this season.
We absolutely have. On the other side of the ball, Dan, you really can't say enough about the performance of Noah Soden today. But please say a little bit about the performance of Noah Soden today.
Had about 220 yards on the ground. It's not the first time this season he's broken 200 yards of offense on the ground. He had 3 scores as well. Benway was able to get in for the last one, we believe, on that. 366 yards of ground game for Marlborough on 44 carries. And for the 3rd consecutive week, the Raiders do not allow a pass completion. Marlborough only tried 1 pass, and it did not go very well.
That was the fourth down play. That was batted away. Before we say goodbye, folks, we want to thank our tremendous crew. Our director today was Nate Glennie, Travis Falk running the audio, graphics, and technical management. As always, Todd Govin on our replay, and our camera operators today, easy for me to say, were Evan Schackenbach, Casey Legothier, and Jared Kammerer. Thank you so much to them for all of their assistance.
Absolutely. A couple of students there, Jared Kammerer, Casey Legothier. I believe it was their first trips here to Crocker Field.
Always a special occasion the first time you get to come to Crocker Field, even on a Saturday afternoon. This was a lot of fun. Again, we should do this more often. It's good. I like it.
Indeed. And next week, as we've talked about before, we're going to have 2 football games for you here on FATV. 6 days from now will be the next Raider home game as they will complete this 4-game homestand taking on the Rangers of Westboro. That's a 7 o'clock kickoff. And then a week from today, we'll do Saturday afternoon football, but back at Elliott Field as the Falcons, coming off the bye week, will try to snap their very long conference losing streak as they'll be taking on the last team they beat in MassCAC play at home, the Mass Maritime Buccaneers. That's a noontime kickoff.
2 tremendous games coming to you next week. Folks, thank you so much for being here with us for this one. For Dan Bullock, I think I would know your name now. We've been doing this long enough. For Dan Bullock, I'm John Gugarty saying thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time right here on FATV.